Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. Today's video is supporting our Project Share Project blog hop once a month, first Saturday of every month. Me and the other ladies do a themed hop. This time around we are all doing some colouring, okay? So loads of ways we can use colouring with our Stampin' Up products. Okay, so if you want to see what everyone else has done, please do pop along to my blog, and there'll be links there to everybody else's posts. Some of the ladies also do videos, so you might also see them on YouTube too. Okay, so colouring then. Lots of ways we can do our colouring. I'm going to do a card today featuring this stamp set called Timeless Charm. This is an online exclusive stamp set. So you will have to go onto the Stampin' Up store. There's a link in the description to have a look at the store. And obviously if it's something that you'd like to purchase, you can purchase it there as well. Some nice coordinating dies, plus some extra little bits and pieces as well. And some great sentiments too. Okay, so this is what we're using today. Just got the lovely stitch shapes, stylish shapes I should say, probably. So there's a banner that goes there that I'm using just to cut out the sentiments today. And this card, the flowers have been coloured with Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers. Okay, this happens to be Granny Apple Green, Fresh Freesia, and a little bit of Daffodil Delight for the centres there. Okay, and then I've used Fresh Freesia for the layering, Gorgeous Grape for the stamping. Okay, so that's what we've done, and then a bit of ink blending, which I guess is a bit of colour has been applied to the layer there, just to sort of tone it all in. Okay, so that's what we're going to emulate using a colour I don't use very often, because why not? Okay, and we're going to use a different medium. We're going to use watercolour pencils. So we're going to use Calypso Coral today. So on each of the pencils it will say what colour it is. So we've got Calypso Coral, Old Olive and Daffodil Delight. Okay, there are two sets of watercolour pencils available with a mixture of colours. I've got no idea which set these come from, and I don't know what those numbers mean, but have a look. I don't know whether these are all in the same set or not. They might be, because they're kind of original colours, if you like. So those are the ones that we're using today, and to blend them we have this product called a blender pen. Okay, and they come in a pack of 3. Not quite sure what the actual stuff is in here, but what it does is, it won't say on the pen itself. I can't imagine. No, it might say on the packaging, but I haven't got the packaging. The whatever's in this helps the watercolour pencil smooth out to give a nice smooth look. Okay, all right. So Calypso Coral it is. Okay, so what we have already prepared ahead of time is a basic white card base. So I used the thick basic white to make the card base. I've got a basic white card layer, which is 4 by 5 3/4. So that's going to go on the top of that once we've done whatever ink we're going to put around the edge. Calypso Coral's our key colour, so I've got a square of that. And I was using up scraps, so this has come out to be a little smaller than the one on the card, but not by much, because I just wanted to use up what I had rather than cut into another sheet. But the basic white is 3 1/4, and then this is just 1/8 of an inch bigger than that. Okay, so that's our sort of base panel. We're not doing anything with this, so we can just adhere these things together. Okay, and I tend to use the Stampin' Seal for that kind of thing when we're just doing some flat cardstock to cardstock adhesion, if you like. Okay, so there we go, that panel's ready to go. Okay, and as you can see, we need 5 of these flowers. Okay, and obviously colouring's a little bit more time consuming. It's therapeutic, it's really nice to do when you just want to have a think about something else or nothing at all, because you're just concentrating on what you're doing. Okay, so we need 5 of those flowers. Okay, and I have done a bit of that ahead of time. I don't think you really need to see me do all 5 of them, but we'll show you how I coloured these in. So we'll zoom in a bit, because it's not the biggest image in the world. Okay, and just to note, so you know, I've actually stamped this in a water resistant ink. Okay, so when you're stamping with blends, oh sorry, colouring with blends, so where's the blend? There it is. So these pens, Stampin' Blends, are alcohol based, so you use water based ink. Sorry, that's out of focus, sorry. I forgot because I zoomed you in. No, it's not going to focus now. Let's see if I can get that. Is that because... oh, there we go. Right, Stampin' Blend. There we go, these square pens. Okay, not Stampin' Write markers. These are the round pens. These are water based. Okay, use a water-based ink, okay, and it won't bleed. Okay, for the watercolour pencil, because we're using the water-based product to blend them out, you need a permanent ink, something like Stays On, or something similar to do that. Okay, so I think you're close enough to see what I'm doing on there. So I'm going to start with the leaves, and we're just going to pop some colour just in the bottom half of this leaf. Same on this one, and then here, and that's all we're going to do. Okay, the flower centre, we're just going to do like a C. I'm not going to colour the whole thing, just going to do that there. And for the petals, we're going to apply some colour kind of around the centre, but also sort of radiating out into the petals, but not all the way to the edge. Okay, so there's basically bits of white showing. Okay, you want to see the bits of white. Okay, so at the moment that's what it looks like. Now these pens, you'll find they do run clean once you scribble them off. I tend to just use the same, you know, there's one for greens and stuff, so I'm just going to wipe across that, and it's sort of bled that out into the rest of the leaf, and I'm going to use whatever's left on the brush nib there to colour in the rest of that, so you get that shading. Okay, blend it out and then colour the other half, blend it out, colour the other half. So that bit's done. Here's my yellow one. So again, I'm just going to pull that colour from around the edges there. It's super subtle. Okay. And then we can do a similar thing with these. We're going to pull colour out from the centre of these petals out towards the top. So you'll still get more intense colour towards the centre, as that blends out. Okay, so that's what you end up with. If you want to, you can go in with the pencil again and just put another bit of depth in there. What you don't want to do though, this is regular basic white cardstock, this is not watercolour paper, so you don't really want to be applying too much of the blender pen, otherwise your cardstock will start to peel, it'll go all, you know, yuck basically. Okay, so that's watercolour pencil. Okay, so you get a sort of more muted sort of look with those. pop those to one side. So next thing we need to do is get all these die cut, which I'll do off camera, and we'll come back and put everything together. Okie dokie, so all 5 of those have now been die cut, and I'm just going to pop some dimensionals onto the back of these. So we're going to do one large there, and then there's just about room for a little mini one just here. Okay, so these are going to be ready to apply to our little topper that we created over here. So let's just get all of those off, okay, and get them in position. Okay, let's do that. So what when doing sort of this kind of thing and you want to get things in the right place, I tend to start by eyeballing that one that's going to be in the centre, which I think is going to be about there. Okay, and then we're going to put this one kind of equidistant between the edge of this flower and the edge of that panel. So we'll pop that one there, and then we can do the same with this one, something like that. Okay, and then these guys are just going to slot in underneath there, like so. Okay, so just wherever they fit. I'm just looking to make sure that that dimensional doesn't get stuck over the top of what's already down, so it doesn't end up at different heights. Okay, so that's going to form the basis of our little topper there. Okay, then we've got some scrap card here, so let's just grab our Calypso Coral ink, shall we? There we go, there it is. I switched up the colour on the other one only because Fresh Freesia is a little bit on the pale side, so I just wanted something darker to show up that sentiment a little bit more clearly. So I'll just pop that down like so. Okay, might need that ink again, but we'll see how we go. And then we're going to pull in that little banner die here to cut that out, which will just take a moment. Then I'm just going to show you a little trick on how we can do the layering piece. Okay, so we'll just tack that into place and just quickly run that through the die cut machine. Okay, just pop that there. Oop. Stuck to the cutting mat. There we go. So there we go with that. But we want this sort of layered effect on the sentiment. Okay, but we don't have a die that's that big. Okay, but we can do a die cutting trick. Okay, to make that longer. Okay. And the way we can do that is using what we call a partial die cutting technique. Okay, so I've got another strip or the rest of that scrap of Calypso Coral there. I'm just going to pop that in and cut it, and I'm going to roll it through, but I'm going to stop. I'm not going to put it all the way through. I'm going to stop there and bring it back again. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Wind that through, and before it disappears underneath the roller, I'm going to pull it back out. So when I lift up this die now, you can see that we've actually got like a flap. It hasn't cut all the way. Okay, so what we can actually do is shuffle this along a little bit. So whatever gap you've got here, you're going to basically have half of that left sticking out either side, aren't you? So that's going to be halfway. So depending on how much you want sticking out, either end of your die, double it, and reposition your die over the top of that, and you'll feel it slot into place. And now we're going to cut from this end down, not quite getting doing that end piece. So before it disappears, roll it back, and what we should end up with is a piece that is completely cut out but is longer than the original die. Okay, so we call that partial die cutting. Okay, cool. So a little bit of seal, we'll layer that up just nicely. So get that nice and lined up, and then press it into place. Now we've got quite a bit of texture going on with those flower stems and stuff, so we want to be able to stick this down so that it's not kind of obscured by any of this stuff. Okay, so there's space here for a dimensional to go in. Okay, so I'm actually going to pop the dimensional right there, and then on the actual banner itself, we pop one either end. Might just use a mini though, just to be sure we don't get things in the way. Like so. So we should be able to put that into place. If it's easier, if you use some tweezers, you can eyeball the bottom edges and the sort of distance from the edge to make sure it's straight. And that's secure enough. There we go. So that's our cute little topper. So that would look great on a little square card. You could just do it like that, okay? But, you know, we don't do the square envelope, so we want to make life easy for ourselves and have something that will just fit into a standard envelope. Let me just tidy a few things away. Okay, so what we'll do now is just apply a little bit of ink to our card layer just to bring it all together. So I'm just going to grab some scrap paper just to protect the surface there. And I've got a whole array of brushes and things out here. What colour is this? Oh, excuse me. I'm just going to use the residual orange on this. Could be a bit of pumpkin pie or something of that. I know I've used pumpkin pie recently, so it could be a bit of that. Okay, but tonally it'll work. So you can either go back into your ink pad and get that, or something similar. That just needs to go onto our card base. So again, just using some seal. You don't need to plaster it. You just need some bits here and there. It's quite strong steel. Okay, full card layer, so this one just fits just nicely onto the card front, so just get those edges nice and even and make sure the top fold's nice and sharp. Okay, and then all we need to do is apply our panel to the back, sorry, to the front. Put glue on the back. Okay, and just using wet glue there because we've got a lot of texture on there, so trying to get the tape runner to run across that might be a little tricky, so we're just going to pop that above centre. Okay, just looking to get those left and right sides nice and even, and press that into place. That glue won't take long to set, it's only a thin layer. Okay, so it'll hold just great. Not bothering with any gems or bows or anything like that, just keeping it real simple. The focus was on the colouring using the 2 techniques. Okay, so we've got the stamping blends on the left, we've got watercolour pencils on the right, but either way you end up with a really great result, beautiful colours. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Obviously don't forget, do pop along to the blog and see everybody else's projects. This is part of the Project Share project blog hop, once a month, first Saturday of the month. So yeah, hope you're staying safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.